how to cook brown rice and quinoa on the stovetop in just 5 easy steps. Hey guys, it's Sarah from Sarah's Healthy Recipes, and today I'm going to show you how to cook brown rice on the stovetop. But before we dive into that, I first want to ask you to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more plant-based and gluten-free recipes and vegan product reviews. Thank you so much for watching. Now, let's dive right into it. So to cook brown rice, there are 5 easy steps. Number 1, you soak your rice in cold water. Number 2, you boil water. Number 3, you cook it for 20 minutes. Number 4, you strain the rice. And number 5, you let it rest for 10 minutes. And then you have perfectly fluffy rice every single time. So I'm going to walk you through each of these 5 steps, real simple like, and you'll have a better appreciation for rice in general, and you'll know how to make perfect fluffy rice. Let's get started. So of the 5 steps with cooking brown rice and quinoa on the stovetop, the first step is to soak your brown rice and quinoa in cold water for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Because what this does is it allows the starch to start to break down, and that way you're going to have fluffy brown rice and quinoa instead of that gummy, nasty texture. I have done this many times, and every time I skip the step to soak my grains and seeds, then it just turns out gummy. I mean, you can still eat it, but it's not going to have that nice fluffy texture like you see in many Asian takeout restaurants. So the first step is to soak your brown rice and quinoa in cold water for at least 5 minutes. The second step of the 5 steps is to bring a large pot of water to a rolling boil. I never measure my water. You're just going to cook the brown rice and quinoa like you would a pasta, which means you want the water to cover it. So I just bring a large, at least like a 6 to 8 quart pot, and bring that to a large rolling boil. You don't need to add any seasonings, just bring that to a boil. The third step of the 5 steps to cooking brown rice and quinoa on the stovetop is to cook it for 20 to 22 minutes. It depends on how crunchy you want your rice to be. I like mine to have a little more crunch, so I only cook it for about 20 minutes. But if you want a more tender rice and quinoa mix, cook it for about 22 to 25 minutes and just sample it as you go and see if it's the right texture for you. So again, the third step is to cook the brown rice and quinoa for 20 to 25 minutes on the stovetop. The fourth step in the 5 steps of cooking brown rice and quinoa on the stovetop is to strain the rice and the quinoa. Very simple. So now that I've explained to you the 5 steps of cooking your brown rice and quinoa on the stovetop, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's dive right in. So once you have your water getting warmed, you are going to choose some dried brown rice. Brown rice is a whole grain. White rice is not. So if you are eating plant-based, make sure that you choose brown rice. And then I just submerge it with a colander in a pot of water. And like I said, you want this to be covered. And I let it soak for at least 5 minutes. And I just kind of give it a little stir with my fingers to make sure that the rice at the very bottom is cooked. What I'm doing here is 4 cups of brown rice and 2 cups of quinoa. And quinoa is actually a seed that acts like a grain. And it is absolutely delicious when you mix it with brown rice. So like I said, I do 4 cups of brown rice and then 2 cups of quinoa. And quinoa is very bitter unless you soak it long enough and help to break down those starches. So the second step is to soak your brown rice for at least 5 minutes in cold water. And then we're going to strain it and put it into our pot of boiling water next. Okay, so once you've added your rice and given it a little stir so it's all submerged, you'll want to keep this on high and bring it back to a low boil, at which point we're going to reduce heat to simmer, and you're going to cook it for about 20 minutes. Don't cover it. Just bring it down to either low, medium heat and let it cook for about 20 minutes. So you'll notice this scummy stuff on the top, and that's just the impurities from the rice coming through. So you'll just take a spoon and lightly scoop this and dump it. And that's it. Now you don't have to get all of it off. I mean, it's not going to kill you. I just like to skim that part off the top. And then that's all you got to do is just watch it to make sure it doesn't, boil over, and you're all set. We can check it again in 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes and this is what it looks like. The water has been, well, a lot of it has been absorbed by the rice, and that's what you want. You don't want all the water gone, because then obviously it will be burnt, but a good portion of it gone. And this is how it looks. Amazing. Now we're going to strain it and then let it rest covered for 10 minutes. Okay, so we've strained our rice and now we're returning it to the pot, and we're going to cover and then, we're going to cover it and let it rest for 10 minutes. This is going to allow the rice to have a more fluffy texture, and it's going to be amazing. So don't skip out on letting it rest for 10 minutes. It's not the end of the world if you do skip it, but it's going to be a lot better texture if you let it rest for a while. And then we'll see the final product in a couple of minutes. So here we have, guys, the finished product. Look at how fluffy this rice is. Oh my word. This rice and quinoa blend is delicious. And even if you don't have quinoa, the brown rice, you can see here, is perfectly fluffy. It's not too chewy. It's not too soft. It's amazing. And you may have noticed that I didn't season my rice at all. You totally can. But this is what I'm going to be using for the entire week. So I might be doing some with like tahini sauce. I might do some tacos. I might do a cucumber watermelon salad with it. So you have lots of options. But like I said, I make a big batch at the beginning of the week, and then you can just use it as you need. So there you have it, guys, how to cook brown rice and quinoa on the stovetop in just 5 easy steps. Let me know in the comments how you cook your brown rice and quinoa, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more plant-based and gluten-free recipes and vegan product reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the kitchen.